What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talkin Mets with Rob. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Mets Hot Stove Live here on a Tuesday, 5 p.m. How's everybody doing, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in. Wait for a little bit more people to come in there and say what's up in the chat. So far, so good. Ow, Daniel, what's up, guys? How you doing? Thank you guys for tuning in. So, we have a lot to talk about today, and I saw your comments regarding the MLB update lockout. We'll get into that in a little bit. I got some tweets and an ESPN report that we'll read about just now. So once again, Nelson, Daniel, what's up, guys? Really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget, guys, please hit on that like button. Let's get this stream out to more people so we can get more people in this stream, more people on the channel. The more successful the channel, the more fun we will have during the off season, during spring training, during the season. A whole lot of fun for this channel. So keep on hitting that like button, guys. All right, so just give me 1 second. Let me just check on something really quick. All right, there we go. All right, so wait for a few more people to come in. La Potencia, what's up? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Daniel, I am doing good. Nelson, I am doing good. Talking Ranger hockey. That's what I'm talking about. Trade deadline's coming up. See if the Rangers make a nice trade. Hey, they got Stanley Cup aspirations, baby. That's what we're talking about. This is Mets talk, but we're talking Rangers here too. Why not, right, guys? A lot of fun. Lots of fun. It's nice to see the Rangers. We got Igor in net, one of the best goaltenders in the league. We got Adam Fox, the best defensive player in the league. And you can't forget about Zibanejad and Panarin, right, guys? So, La Potencia, go Bruins. All right, guys. So let's talk some baseball, right? All right, guys. So as you know, MLB and the Players Union did meet again for the second time in the week. Bad news. According to multiple sources, we will get to that in a second. It's not looking good for spring training to start on time. Unfortunately, doesn't really look good, guys. So that's unfortunate because, as you guys already know, I am supposed to go to spring training for the first game of spring training on February 27th. Unfortunately, it might not happen. So, I might still end up in Florida. Maybe, who knows? But unfortunately, it probably won't be because of baseball, which sucks. But again, we got to take the most out of everything. I feel like the season's going to start on time. I feel like spring training is going to be a little late, but as long as you don't miss season games, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But let's get into the tweets that I was talking about. So first, we're going to look at Jeff Passan's tweet. Let me just share my screen real quick, and we will talk about it. So Jeff Passan said this. The meeting between the Major League Baseball Players Association and MLB is over. Little progress was made. The one on-time opening of spring training at this point is in grave danger and frankly would take a miraculous deal coming together to rescue. A delay feels inevitable. So that is not something that baseball fans wanted to freaking hear. I thought since they were meeting on a regular basis, they met 3 times last week, twice already this week. I don't know if they're meeting again tomorrow. Maybe they'll meet one more time this week, but it's not really looking good. Ernie, thank you for tuning in from Stewart, Florida, right around the corner from Port St. Lucie, LFGM. Ernie, thank you for tuning in. Hit on that like button, Ernie, and hit on that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Really appreciate you tuning in, Ernie. Thank you for tuning in. Unfortunately, I don't got great news regarding the MLB lockout, but that's why we're here to talk about it and voice our concerns. So the problem with this is that even though they were meeting a couple of times, they met 3 times last week. They already met twice, Monday and Tuesday. They might meet one more time this week, maybe twice. I don't know. But when we look at the next tweet by Joel Sherman, you'll understand a little bit more. And then there's a report from Jesse. Let me just get the name right. Jesse Rogers of ESPN. he wrote a nice little article that I'm going to read to you guys, and it gives a lot. It goes into detail about how spring training could be lost or be delayed, season games be delayed. So we'll get into that a little bit as well. So that is the first tweet that I wanted to talk about. So the grave danger of the spring training not starting on time, it's going to take a miracle basically for baseball, at least spring training, to start on time. And that sucks, right? Especially Met fans are extremely excited about the season because of what the Mets did, signing already 4 players, 3 position, 1 pitcher in Scherzer, Escobar, Kana, and Marte. And Met fans expect a few more signings and maybe even a trade to bolster this roster and take over the NL East. And we're excited. And it sucks because, of course, Met fans get excited that our team actually is spending a lot of money, getting the stars in here, and we can't even play baseball. So that sucks. And I was really looking forward to going with the 7-line army to spring training, sitting on the berm in first day of field and having fun in Port St. Lucie. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Again, it's the first day of February. If they don't get nothing done by next week, I don't think spring training is going to start on time. And that sucks. Unfortunately, we have to deal with it as baseball fans. Baseball has been basically turning its back on the fans. You guys, most of you guys know Mets Talk with Hayden. Hayden called the MLB office and left a message. And I'm assuming they've been getting a lot of hate messages through the MLB commissioner's office, which is unfortunate because it is what it is, right? Baseball is destroying the game on their own. It's not the fans that are doing it. It's baseball itself. So that is the first tweet from Just Passing. The next tweet that we are going to look at is this one. Just give me a second. All right, so here's the next one that we're going to look at. And this one's from Joel Sherman. It's a little longer. It's 3 tweets, so we're going to go into it a little bit. So here we go, guys. Let me just pull it up a little bigger so everybody can see it. All right, so first one. Gaining 1 yard on 3rd and 15 is better than no yards or a loss, but still sets up 4th and 14. That's what it feels like has happened to the date in MLB PA negotiations for a new CBA. Moving inches toward each other when yards are needed if spring camps are to open on February 16th. Without a settlement in next week opening, those camps on time pretty much vanishes, and it doesn't look good right now. The next important date is exhibition games to start February 26th. Told PA clearly wants to see more money allocated for 0 to 3 service time class that compromises more than half of the members of MLBPA, plus higher thresholds, less punitive measures for teams that go over in luxury tax. One agent told me weeks ago this negotiations only get serious when there is real bargaining movement on luxury tax. That has not happened. So there's another thing right there that's bad, right? The whole issue with this right now is exactly what's the problem. They've been talking about issues that is really not gonna move the meter, so to speak, for lack of a better term, on anybody budging on getting things done. The biggest problem is luxury tax and service time. That's the luxury tax and arbitration service time. Basically, what these players get paid based on service time over the first 3 years of their career. If those don't get talked about, everything else is pointless in the CBA because they can figure out other things. They can figure out the DH. They can figure out the playoff teams. They can figure out many other things that both can agree upon. But luxury tax and service time between 0 to 3 years when it comes to arbitration are the big things for the players and the owners. If they don't budge on those 2 things, that's where the problem lies. And that's why I get upset because, look, this is not a strike, right? The players are not striking. The MLB owners locked out the players. Everything can still happen. Players could have been going to the facilities. Spring training could have been started on time. If the MLB owners, they could have not locked out the players and still negotiate a CBA. But the owners don't want to do that. It sucks. because it's not like the 94 strike. It was basically a union strike by the players. That's why baseball and the 94 World Series weren't played, because the players went on strike. It wasn't the owners. This is a totally different aspect of a strike, so to speak. The owners locked out the players. So that's the biggest problem. And it sucks, because what can you really do as a fan except talk about all the rumors that you heard before lockout, right? And it's unfortunate, because I was really hoping, COVID has like not really settled down, but it kind of makes it everything's starting to open up back. People can do things. Arenas are packed, stadiums are packed. I mean, Florida, they haven't talked about COVID in about a year and a half. Florida's basically open ground. So, um, I was looking to go into a lot more stadiums this year, having a lot of fun. And, like everything's up in the air. Like the Seven Line just put DC, the Nats and Mets games during the first week of the season on sale for their out in DC. Who knows if that's going to happen on time? I don't know. So it's like all the trips that I have planned, the games, the tickets, we don't know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is at this point, right? So that's the other tweet from Joel Sherman. The next one I want to show you is this, and that's a report from Jesse Rogers of ESPN. And just give me a second. Alrighty, here we go. Ooh. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna roll it down a little bit so you guys can see it. So this is basically nearly 2 months into the MLB lockout, when it is time to worry about spring training and opening day. So Jesse Rogers, the MLB lockout is entering its third month. When it began back on December 2nd, sorry guys, let me just, I'm sorry, let me make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. There you go. All right, so on December 2nd, MLB and MLBPA had 119 days before the start of the new season to figure things out. As the lockout clock ticks down to opening day, now just 59 days away from opening day, without a new CBA in place, the two sides have put everything in jeopardy. Normally, baseball is in motion as the calendar flips from January to February. Teams are packing trucks to deliver equipment to spring camps, while players and coaches are beginning their journeys to Arizona and Florida. Visas are being secured, foreign players, housing arrangements. The next couple of months are being finalized. Pitchers are ramping up their throwing programs, while hitters are doing the same thing in the weight room. But this year, all of it is on hold. Big keyword. I had a couple of setbacks to getting ready for the season, so it is just tough gauging whether I need to push it and get ready to take my time. Free agent leader Steve Cishek said in a phone conversation, the unknown, like the COVID season, is the hard part. The MLBPA is prepared for an extended lockout, with $5,000 checks going out to players this week for the month of February, but the players themselves still have to prep for the season, even with the start date of spring training and possibly opening day increasingly uncertain. It's not ideal, one player opinion, but there are more important things right now. We just have to do the best we can to be ready. Here is what the concern is the current negotiation stalemate means for the biggest upcoming dates on the baseball calendar. When it's officially time to worry, we can lose them if a deal is not yet in place. February 15th, 44 days from opening day. Pitchers and catchers report. When to worry, February 8th, which is a week away. If the lockout ends in the next 7 days, players on the contract should have enough time to get to a camp as scheduled, according to a new one. Is like with a free agent frenzy would take place to the remaining unsigned players. And we keep on going down and down and down. Here's the next one. February 26th. I think that's the next one. Sorry, yes. February 26th. When to worry, February 19th. In conversation with people in the game, the consensus is the players need a bare minimum of 7 days to prepare for a game action. It means camps can have to be up and running by February 19th if spring schedules are to adhere to. So February 26th. March 31st, opening day. March 3rd is the date. So you get the point, right, guys? The point is teams and players, you got March 15th, February 26th, and March 3rd. All of those have a lot to come up with when it comes to spring training starting on time, spring training being a little late to games. So as you can see, players can show up by the 19th. CBA can be agreed upon, and 7 days from that 19th date is the first game of spring training. And they still got a whole month until spring training starts to get everything together. So, a lot of bad news from every angle you look at, from Jeff Passan's tweet to Joel Sherman's tweet to Jesse Rogers' report. So none of it looks good. None of it is actually exactly what we wanted to hear. But here's the problem, right? The bigger problem is not with the fans, right? During the pandemic, there was no fans. Players didn't really have to worry about it. 2021, that's all a lot of the players, especially on the Mets, talked about. The booing, the thumbs down, all that nonsense, right? And the biggest problem is that fans are the ones that suffer, right? The diehards like me, you, and everybody in this chat, and everybody else that has a YouTube channel about baseball, just fans in general, get screwed at the end of the day, right? Even though if you're another sports fan of baseball, or football, hockey, basketball, when February comes around, after the Super Bowl, it's all about baseball. And baseball finds a way yet again to destroy fan bases and get excited about baseball. The Major League Baseball always talks about, they're losing a young fan to the NBA, the NFL. Well, obviously, you know why? Because not only is the games are longer, which I don't really care about, but it matters to younger fans, right? The other problem is that when you have constant problems and CBA negotiation problems about talking about money, where millionaires and billionaires are fighting over pennies, basically. It's not pennies to us, but it's pennies to them. Now, I understand, service time and players who are just coming up into the, in the majors. Let's be honest, guys. If any of us were making $550,000 a year, there's a pretty good chance we would be okay, right? That's what they're talking about here. They're not talking about the minor league players. The MLBPA don't care about the minor league players because they're not union members. If you want to have problems with anything, maybe the minor league players should be getting paid a little bit more and get housing and all that stuff, because they don't make money at all. So these players, the ones that are what they're fighting about the most is minimum service players that are making $550,000. The players want $625,000. The MLBPA wants $575,000. Like, it's chump change to these guys. I can assure you, these guys, even after taxes, if you live in New York or California, you're still making $250,000 after taxes. $230,000. You're still making look, the median salary in most states in this country are a joke. And these players are worrying about $25,000 more to their salary. It's a complete joke, guys, and that's the biggest problem that everybody's having. It's not that the fact that, look, everybody wants what they want to get, right? The players want extra money. The owners want more money. They want whatever they want. But it's billionaires. This is the way, from our perspective, the people who are actually basically paying their salaries are buying tickets, buying jerseys, buying food from concessions, all that fun stuff, traveling across the country to go see their team play. But yet, none of these players or owners are like out of touch with reality, and it screws everybody. And that's the biggest problem. And there is nobody to fault but themselves. They have to look in the damn mirror and look at themselves, because they're the biggest problem. And there's my rant. So I'm going to look at everybody. Fernando, what's up, man? Long time no see. All right. Super rich. Exactly, Daniel. Super rich fighting over more money, basically. Exactly. Yeah, see, Nelson, look, I've been in the union. I understand the negotiation tactics and everything like that. But, unions that come to, like, the sanitation union, the ironworkers union, unions across America, they're fighting for people who are making 50,000 a year, trying to get, a $2 raise. They're not talking about, what I'm saying? That's a livelihood. With inflation going up, people's salaries need to go up. But we're not talking about people who are making $50,000 a year. They're talking about people who are making $600,000 a year. And then no matter what, if they're in the major leagues, they get raises every year. That's what I don't understand. Like, this is what annoys me about the players. You come up in the major leagues your first year, you're making $550,000, right? That's minimum salary. Year number 2, even if you have a shitty year, right? Your second year of service, you get a bump, $10,000 to $15,000. This ain't $2 an hour. You're getting $15,000 more. Like, I don't understand. Like, the majority of this country, besides New York, California, and maybe like 2 or 3 other states where baseball is, where taxes are tremendously high. But even then, in California and New York, these guys are still bringing them $220,000, $230,000 a year. Players in Texas and Florida, where there's no income tax, state income tax, they're bringing home basically 80, 85, 90% of their salary. And it just doesn't make sense to me. And that's the biggest problem today. And I really think they got to get it together because, look, there is fans like you, me, and the guy next door who are diehards who are always going to come back. But there's going to be fans, just like in 94 and 95. Fans walked away from the game. But yet Major League Baseball turned their eyes when McGwire and Sosa went for the home run record that brought a lot of fans back. So that's the problem. And the problem is this time, with strict rules with steroids and everything else going around in the world, it's going to be very hard to save the game of baseball this time if they screw this up. That's the biggest problem we're going to have. And again, I'm the idiot that still buys tickets. I'm the idiot that still buys shirts, hats, jerseys behind me, hoodies, everything else you can think of. That's me. But the point is, get your shit together, because that's the problem with Major League Baseball. They're too stupid to realize that their game, their America's pastime, they're number 3 on the list on the big 4 sports. They're basically breaking ground with hockey at this point. That's scary. That is tremendously scary. This was the number 1 sport 20 years ago. It's not that long ago. Even 10 years ago, it was still doing pretty well. They slowly destroyed the sport with rules, with stupid rules for that matter. So much crap that continue to cause issues. And they wonder why attendance is down. They wonder why viewership is down on TV. Well, you keep on screwing up the sport. You keep on doing nonsense like this. Nobody's going to say anything about unions and labor situations. We all get it. But when millionaires complain about billionaires and vice versa, then you wonder why people have problems. Because at the end of the day, the person, me, you, and Joe Schmo across the street who's making $50,000, $60,000 a year and struggling paycheck to paycheck to pay their bills, don't give a damn about somebody who's making $500,000 a year. I'm sorry. It's just, you hear the numbers, right? Oh, the players want a $25,000 raise. Wow, that's great. Yet they're guaranteed to get a raise every year when you make the major leagues. So I just don't get it. There's jobs that you can't guarantee getting raises every year. So it's crazy to me. There you go. There you go, Nelson. I like that. Nah, baseball's gonna start on time. It's just baseball's gonna start. It's just a matter of when this year. That's the problem right there. You got to remember, this is where they make the majority of their money on TV contracts with stations. That's why it's going to be very hard for them to miss out on making spring training game, because as much as spring training is not really, there's not a lot of viewership, they get a lot of ad revenue from these stations and from their networks and everything like that. And that's when it's going to hurt them in the pockets. And when the players and the owners, they split that TV revenue money. So both of them are going to be losing out. That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. The beer is getting flat out. Unfortunately, I got me some hot cocoa tonight, so no beer. Sorry, guys. Beer's to celebrate, right? And relax on a hard day. I would like to celebrate with a beer, but listen, the day M- Major League Baseball lockout is over, I'll have my beer ready. I promise. So unfortunately, that's what happened at the moment, and it sucks, right? But guess what? We move on. We keep on talking about what the Mets are going to do when this lockout is over, and we can have fun, right? So I was talking about, if you guys joined me yesterday on the live stream, about the breaking news that John Heyman spoke about, and Pat Ragazzo of Sports Illustrated. They talked about the Mets going after a big name pitcher and a big name bat. And once again, Andy Martino's tweet got shot down when he said a day before those two tweeted and basically contradicted what he said. Andy Martino said the Mets were not going to go after no more big names, get a back end starter for the rotation, and bullpen help. So once again, Andy Martino was completely lost with his tweets, and it came back Rocky, how you doing? And that's exactly what happened with that one. So again, I thought that since Major League Baseball and the Players Union was meeting on back-to-back days, they met 5 times in the last 2 weeks. I thought it was some progress, but again, the progress that they're making is not to the core issues, which is luxury tax and service time arbitration between the players from 0 to 3 years when they're arbitration eligible. So those are the two key facts and the problem that they're having with the core economic issues, and that's why nothing is going to happen at the moment. Maybe they'll meet again in the next week or two, or in the next few days. We'll see. Again, the dates that everybody has to worry about: February 15th, February 26th, March 3rd. If they get this deal done by February 16th or 15th, they will be able to start pitchers and catchers and spring training on time, where the games are going to happen a week, about 10 days later. February 25th, if the lockout ends then, they would be able to start spring training a little late, but they would be on time. And March 3rd is the day, if they don't get a deal done by March 3rd, opening day is in jeopardy. So let's hope it don't go that far. Let's hope right before Valentine's Day they get this shit together and we'll be ready to go. Let's hope. There you go, Fernando. Daniel, I don't think you have to worry about a season. I think the season's going to happen. There's way too much money to lose for both sides. Trust me. And I don't think that's going to happen. There's way too much money. During the pandemic year, it was a little bit different because it was only 60 games. They were losing money no matter what. Major League Baseball will not be able to survive a lockout the entire year. This is not going to happen. And this is not the right way to do anything, because they're going to lose tons of money. The players are not going to get paid. And that's a problem for both sides. So, and we'll see. We'll see. I think spring training is going to start a little late, maybe the first week in March. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm assuming Manfred was at the meeting today. I mean, he is the leader of the owners. I mean, what the hell is he do? Why is he getting paid if he's not there? So I would think so. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, when it comes to Congress and the Senate and the presidency, you got I never seen a a, a political party, a political side have the White House, Congress, and the Senate, have all three houses, and still can't get anything passed. But that's a political view, and it feels like that. It does feel like that in a way. Like it does feel like the MLB owners are Republicans and the players are Democrats, and they can't get a bipartisan deal done, and it's just the biggest problem with the country and with Major League Baseball, basically. Daniel. So yeah, basically, so I have all the sports, right? All the four sports: hockey, baseball, football, basketball, everything. I'm a Mets fan, obviously. Uh, for football, I'm a Cowboys fan. Hockey, I'm a Rangers fan, and basketball, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not completely into soccer. I'm not a big fan of soccer. I watch it every now and then. Like, but if I do watch European soccer, I got a little bit into the Tottenham Hotspurs. I don't know why. I just did. One day I was, sometimes when I'm off during work and in the morning, you'll have, the games on from Europe. And for some reason, Tottenham is on a lot. So I kind of got into them a little bit. But, can I name you three players? Probably not. But that's my sports. There you go. That's why you got to get drunk before the game. Daniel. Oh, come on. Don't call them cowgirls now. But yeah. So the reason how I got into being a Cowboys fan was when I was little on Sundays. My grandfather used to watch me, or I used to go over to his house, and he was a Cowboy fan. He used to watch. They always used to be on, you know, 5 or Channel 2 all the time with America's game of the week, and I always used to watch the Cowboys because they were always on with my grandfather, and I just became a Cowboy fan. That's how it started. My dad's a Jet fan. My mom's a Bears fan. So I have a lot of different fans. I got Giant fans in the family, so I kind of just whoop, you know, became a Cowboy fan. In the '90s, they were America's team, right? They won a lot of championships. I mean, that wasn't the reason why, you know, I became a fan. I was a fan because my grandfather was, and I watched them every day. So the players that I always seen, Aikman, Elliott, Emmett Smith, Irvin, Sanders, all those guys, I always did. So that's how I became a fan. Favorite Mets prospect? I like Brett Beatty. He's my favorite. He's a lefty, which I am too, so it makes me a little happy to see a left-hander. I think Beatty's going to be a stud. I like him a lot. Brett Beatty is definitely a guy that I think can be a star in this league. He's very good defensively. He's already hitting for power. He played well in the Arizona Fall League. He played well in the minors last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see this guy up in the second half of this year, along with Mark Vientos. Cowboys cheerleaders, you can't go wrong with them, right? If you don't want to watch the game, you can watch them. Matt Harvey is coming back to the Mets. Oh, I hope not. I don't want to. He's not even the Dark Knight anymore. He's like, I don't know what he is, but he's definitely not the Dark Knight anymore. You might be right, Fernando. Yeah, Matt's hiding in the back cave. Yeah, doing absolutely nothing. He's just Matt Harvey, the guy who used to actually be on top of Gotham City. Now he's basically in the sewers with the rats, basically. So once again, guys, don't forget, if you're just tuning in, please hit on that like button. You're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a member, all good. There's 3 different memberships, perks, exclusive giveaways, all that fun stuff that is going to happen during the season. So get on board with that, guys. A lot of perks that are going to come to the members during the season. We're going to have a lot of fun doing that. I tell you that right now. going to be a lot of live streams for members only, so it's going to be fun. I'm actually going to do a tour of City Field very, very soon. So I'm not sure how they are with videos, but I'm going to do my best to probably go live. If I can, if not, I'll just do a video and then post it. So all those perks that the members are going to get are going to be fun. Yeah, we need Matt Harvey to come in the ninth again. Yeah, so we can run out on the field and waste all his energy and then give up the game. Uh, I'm on board with Chris Bryant. I know people were talking about they'd rather have Suzuki over Chris Bryant, but at least with Chris Bryant, you know what you're going to get from him. With Suzuki, it's basically a crapshoot. We don't really know. We know what his numbers are in Japan, but do we really need another Kaz Matsui or Tsuyoshi Shinjo, who, were supposed to be world beaters and they were basically garbage? Not saying that Suzuki is going to be that, but it's a risk. At least you know what you're paying for when it comes to Chris Bryant. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy who can play a lot of positions, can bat you 260, 270, hit you 25 home runs, 80 RBIs. You know you're going to get that for Chris Bryant. Suzuki is just, we don't know. People, checked out YouTube when they heard of him and seen him hitting bombs in Japan. But what does that really mean? Nothing until he does it here. Hey, listen, if you're in the area, you're a member, you get games. I'll tell you right now, I got tickets that I probably can't even give away at the moment. I'll tell you, I'm booked. My ballpark app is looking good right now. So, you want to go to the game with me? Become a member. I don't know about front row now. Hey, easy there. No. No, that's the Giants. That's what they do. Free medium soda. You can't even get a second refill. That's crazy. Yeah, honestly, that's what Chris Bryant is. That's what he's done his whole career. He starts off slow, and in the second half, that's how he gets his numbers. And I'm fine with that. How many times the Mets had guys who played well in the first half, and in the second half they fell apart? So again, I know Chris Bryant is going to cost about 130, 140 million dollars, but you know what you're going to get from Chris Bryant. You know he's going to get a 260, 270 hitter, 25 home runs, 80 RBIs. Most of that production comes in the second half, which is absolutely fine with me because that's usually the time the Mets fall apart. So that's the biggest thing that I'm thinking of. Like I said, I'm not going to get mad if the Mets get Suzuki, but let's be honest, nobody really knows what this guy's going to do in the majors. Can he be Ohtani offensively? Maybe. He has the power like Ohtani, but again, he's a little few years older than Ohtani, but we don't know. And that's the problem. Oh yeah, let's go get a Wild Thing Vaughn. Come up with the skull glasses, right? Gio, how you doing, buddy? Oh, come on, Fernando. You know you want to go to a game with me. You know. And Daniel, I wasn't mad about losing Baez. I don't like Baez. I do think, he's an exciting player, but he just scares me and I don't trust him. This is his first big contract. And I don't trust him, honestly. Like, I feel like he's one of those guys that, he got his money and he's going to be the type of guy that's going to cause issues. I mean, you've seen it. Like, as soon as he got on the team with Lindor, they both were basically them against the world. And it just, to me, it didn't work out. You alienated players on your team that were there before both those guys, like McNeil. I'm assuming Alonso had problems with them too, so it's unfortunate. Yeah, I look. The Yankees just got him broadcasting, get him into the game a little bit. I'm glad for Beltran. I just still think the Mets should have never fired him, but optics, right? It's unfortunate, but I think Beltran deserves an opportunity. Oh yeah, of course. I picked him on my fantasy, and he sucked for me. Yeah, Hayden. He did get a deal with a gig with the Yankees for the Yes Network. I think they're doing 36 games with him or something like that. Rocky, Robert, what's up, guys? Stroman ain't winning no damn Cy Young. He's gonna get rocked in Chicago. Rocked. He's gonna have Arenado beaten down that Stroman guy. I tell you that right now. I don't think Stroman's gonna be good. Stroman is one cocky individual, and I'm telling you right now, that guy quit on his team during the pandemic. When the Mets were expecting him back, he gave up and said, I ain't doing it. I'm going to sit out. Because he knew his service time was going to go. He knew he was going to be a free agent. He knew the Mets were going to give him the qualifying offer. He took it. He pitched well. I'm not going to say he didn't. But let's be honest, guys. If anybody thinks Stroman's going to be as good as he was last year, you're mistaken because he's not. And if you remember, he pitched in the NL East, right? The East was terrible last year. He pitched 19 games against each of them, which was close to what, 95 games? You gotta remember that, guys. There was nobody really good in this division until the second half with the Braves. So, look, Stroman's a me guy, and I didn't like him. And I don't think he's going to be any better than he was last year. Nah, he's not going to be that good. Nope. You know, Hayden, I think Beltran's going to get a gig. You know, it's a good thing that he got into the broadcast booth, and you know, people are going to see his now. He's going to get a job in the next year or two. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. You know, Cespedes is the same thing. He played what 3 or 4 games, and then he quit on the team. The same thing with Stroman. You know, Stroman got injured during the shortened spring training, and right before the Mets thought he was gonna come back and help this rotation that was injured with Syndergaard and everything like that. He quit on him, and let's be honest, he was like, oh, you know, because players were allowed to opt out because of COVID. Stroman didn't opt out because of COVID. As soon as he knew that he had enough service time in and he was going to be a free agent, he ran for it. And that's what he did. Like he was, you know, these opt out things were bullcrap. That's what they were. Stroman didn't opt out because he was worried about COVID. Did you see his Instagram post during the pandemic? During the year he opted out? He was all over the country with no mask or anything. So I don't want to hear about Stroman is a selfish player who is only there for himself. He got his money now, and watch, he's going to be one of the worst pitchers on that Cubs staff. I can guarantee it. He's not going to be that good. And when the Mets face him, they're going to rock him. You know, honestly, I was actually talking about that yesterday a little bit. I do think they're both going to, I don't think they're going to get seriously injured, but I do think they're going to miss a few starts here and there. You know, Max Scherzer is 37 years old. You know, DeGrom, who the hell knows what's wrong with his arm? I think they're gonna probably miss about 3 or 4 starts each. But I expect that though. That's why I think it's important for the Mets to get a guy like Rodon. I know he's injury prone, but or trade for a Luis Castillo, somebody who can step in there for one of those guys to go down. It's all right. They all got curse words. We all know the curse words. No, I wouldn't say no. I don't. You know, it's a different type of selfish. You know, Strowman always had me to like. I rather see. I was more. I had more of a liking for Baez than I did Strowman because I felt like Baez actually gave it his all at every at bat, every time he was playing. I don't feel like Strowman always gave it his best. You know, the I was at that game in Pittsburgh when he completely got destroyed, and he basically gave up. And I just felt like he was in a contract year, and you always got to any sport. You see it in hockey, you see it in football, you see it in basketball. When these guys are in a contract year, their numbers shoot up, and then they never get that number again. That's the biggest problem. And I think Stroman's a perfect example of that. I don't think he's going to have the year he had last year. I don't think he's going to get even close. And you know what? He's in a central. Now, everybody's going to look at his numbers, right? He's in a central where there is really nobody that's really great in that division. He gets to beat up on the Pirates. He gets to beat up on the Reds. Who knows what Milwaukee's going to do, with Hader or whatever else guys on that team. The only team that's probably really, really good is the Cardinals. So his numbers are going to get stacked because they're playing Pittsburgh and Cincinnati 19 times a year. And that's the problem. Yeah, but you know what? I honestly think Conforto was a fluke because at least he had years. He has, a couple of years of consistent, not consistent, but pretty decent numbers over his career. Just last year, I feel like Conforto is going to have a great year in 2022. And like when you look at it, like with Conforto, you've seen it with a lot of guys that like the Nick Castellanos of the world. And look, the same thing with Stroman, right? If you look at Stroman's career with Toronto, he never had a year that good like he did last year. Doesn't that scare you a little bit? That he's 7 years into his career, 7 years older, but yet all of a sudden he found his best year of his career, and it just so happens to be his contract year. That worries me, guys. Yeah, I understand, Fernando. It's hard to be positive. It does. That's not a bad point though. Missing pop ups. Oh God, I was at that game. That was terrible. Kenny, what's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, please hit on that like button, hit on that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, once again, guys, Talkin Mets with Rob here, Mets Hot Stove Live. Just spoke about the MLB lockout and the unfortunate news that they really haven't gained any progress in the talks. February 15th, February 25th, and March 3rd are the 3 dates we're going to have to look at coming up. If the deal gets done by the 15th, it looks like spring training can start on time. If February 25th comes and the deal is done by then, spring training will get started on time. A little bit of a delay, but they will get spring training in. And March 3rd is the last deadline where we might miss spring train season games if they don't get a deal done by March 3rd. So once again, guys, hit on that like button if you're just tuning in. And if you guys want to become a member of the channel, just so you know, there's 3 different memberships. There is the orange and blue, there's the Shea Stadium, and the You Gotta Believe memberships. All different price ranges. Obviously, the higher you go up, the more perks you will get. Just so you know, when you're at the higher level of the membership, You Gotta Believe, you are in the running to get giveaways just at random that I will do for the members. And I also do live streams for all members, exclusively for members during the season for live streams. You'll get access to the videos earlier before anybody else sees them. So if you want to become a member, just click on that join button right under the video right now, or you can go right to the channel page and click on the membership and you will be good to go, and you will get all the deals. I already got a member, Bill, who did it about 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to get between 15 to 20 where I can really start putting all the perks together and the videos together, so you guys get those exclusive perks that you get when you're a member of the channel. Gio, what's up? Sledge, what's up, guys? Oh, I like that question, Gio. That's a good question. Which Mets prospect can you see making their debut? So, granted, if everybody stays in the minor leagues, if the Mets don't trade any of the prospects, I can actually see two for sure, maybe three, and that is Mauricio, Beatty, and Vientos. I do think the first guy you're going to see is Vientos. I think he's going to get a shot in spring training, especially if there's a DH. I think Vientos is going to have a shot, especially the way he hit in the minor leagues last year. I think Vientos has a really good shot to make the team on opening day. But Mauricio, Beatty, and Vientos, I would not be surprised if they make their MLB debut, most likely in the second half. I should have Rob. There should be baseball this year. Yep, Beatty, Vientos, and Mauricio. Depending on if they don't trade any of, I don't think they're trading Beatty, but Vientos and Mauricio, I can see one of them or two of them going in the deal for a pitcher. But if they all stay in the system, I think those three guys have a pretty good shot of making the pros, and that would be nice, right? For once, the Mets got prospects that are highly regarded. What do they got? Four, four or five guys in the top 100, and I think the Mets have five top 100 prospects, and the Yankees only have three. So I think the guys are Volpe, Dominguez, and Peraza for the Yankees, and for the Mets, it's Alvarez, Beatty, Mauricio, uh, Vientos, and there's another one I believe. But they got five in the top 100, and the Yankees got three. So that's cool. Daily Mets coverage. What's up? Yeah, the same thing with Mauricio. I think he's going to be good, but again, he has nowhere to play. The Mets for some reason don't want to put him in another position where he can actually come up in the majors if he's good enough, like second. So, so it's kind of crazy, and it's weird because look, it's funny because Mauricio 3 years ago was the number one prospect. Then he got bumped because of Alvarez. Then he got bumped because of Beatty. Like sooner or later, like he's number three. He's number three right now. And the way Vientos and JT Ginn is moving up the charts, I wouldn't be surprised if Mauricio ends up fifth in the coming year. Alex Ramirez, the outfielder that everybody is having high regards for. It's a really big, interesting fact that Mauricio is going slower and going lower and lower down the chart, and his profit and his all his everybody what everybody likes about him is dwindling a little bit, and I think you have to use your asset to use him in a trade to get somebody you really need, because right now his value is high, and that's the problem. Oh yeah, Yankee fan at heart because I love the Yankees. I spent all my money on Mets gear. That's I mean, I don't know what they were trading for, probably for a bag of peanuts because nobody's taking on that contract. Yeah, but you know what? That's funny though, because I'm not surprised. Like I actually thought Juan Soto wanted his brother to go to the Mets because I always felt like Soto wants to come to New York. He might be with the Yankees, but it is what it is. I mean, if he turns out good, he turns out good. We don't really know, but it sucks. Just give me 1 second. I'm just checking something. Do, do, do. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. All right. Sorry, I was just checking. Just checking something that I was looking at really quick. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry. Alrighty. Sorry, I got a lot of messages. All right, guys. Yo, honestly, Fernando, I was hyped because it was pretty cool, right? There was nothing going on because of the lockout, and it was a lot of fun. So I was like, all right, we get we have some news, and well, 1,000 views later on that video when people were commenting me, well, he's not a Met. Well, I'm like, I did the video before I heard about that, so what am I gonna do? So, oh, I don't even know. I mean, we can always go back and check the that video. That wow, that was holy Christ. That was like what the beginning of last year, spring training. God, that was a long time ago. Wow, good times, good times. That was before monetization of YouTube. Oh, it was the first week. Okay, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Yeah, you did, you did. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about when it came to like the MLB lockout and stuff. Some people got it confused. I was reading like for some reason people in the comments in certain videos were like, would they like they were thinking that the reason why there's a lockout was because the players were the one locking people out, but or were striking. But that's not the case. Like the owners can easily let the players back in the facility and still negotiate. That's what I don't understand about the owners. Like you could still play the season and start spring training on time and still negotiate. Like, in my opinion, if they open up the facility and end the lockout, but still talk to the players about the CBA, wouldn't that look a little better on their part and like give a little bit of an incentive to get a deal done? Since hey, like the players are like, all right, guys, let's start the spring training on time. Let's get everything together, but let's figure this out. But they don't do that, so it sucks. It's unfortunate, man, because like look, my favorite sport is baseball. I go crazy. I mean, my girl's probably she hates me because of much when baseball season comes around, I'm basically, I'm like, hey, let's go to the game. Let's go to the game. Let's travel. Let's go to this state. Let's go to that state. Let's go to that game. Hey, it's 7 o'clock. Leave me alone. I'm watching a baseball game. Stuff like that. So, baseball is everything. I didn't start a YouTube channel for the Mets because I don't like baseball or baseball's not my number one. It is. So it sucks. I'm looking forward to after the Super Bowl talking about pitchers and catchers because that's fun. But unfortunately, idiots that are rich cause problems for these fans. So, well, guys, it is 6 o'clock. This is only going to be an hour show tonight because your favorite YouTuber has to go to work in a few hours. So, enjoy your night, guys. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in. Check out the video that was posted around 3 o'clock today about Luis Castillo. Keep on checking it out, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the video and check out the trade proposal. Check out the information that I put in that video, the Suzuki video I did yesterday. Even if you want to go back, if you haven't tuned in from the stream yesterday, we talked a lot for about 2.5 hours. So it was a lot to go into. So once again, guys, I really do appreciate all the support, guys. Keep on coming back. Don't forget to hit on that like button, guys. Hit on that subscribe button. Share this content, guys. Share these videos. Share the channel on your social media pages. People who like the Mets or like baseball in general. Share the channel. Get more people out there for the channel. Like I said, the more this channel grows, the more we will have more fun. And doesn't have to be just Met fans. It can be all types of fans. So that's what I want to get into, guys. All right, guys. So once again, I really appreciate all the support. See you guys next week. Or if breaking news happens with baseball and the CBA, I'll go live. But keep on checking out the videos, guys. Love all you guys. Have a good night, guys. And as always, Met fans, let's go Mets. Have a good night, guys.